Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, today's deck might not be tier 1, but it is a spicy one and it is tons of fun. But before we get into that, if you'll do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, it is fast, free, and it means the world to me. Also, if you don't mind by the end of this video, not only commenting, but also rating it. We get 1 point for both, but if you do both, we get 4. Okay, that is enough of that stuff. Let's get into today's deck. What are we playing? We're playing JUND Re-animator. And I think there is a couple versions of Re-animator out there right now. This one is from the insane mind of our very own Brewmaster Will. So let's go ahead and get into it, see what we got. First, we have our removal package. We have 3 copies of Infernal Grasp, 3 copies of Cathartic Pyre, which we also want to be using the discard up to 2 cards, then drawing that many cards ability, as well as the damage ability, because we are a Reanimator deck. We want to get rid of those big creatures, bring them back later in another way. We have 2 copies of Burn Down the House. If you're playing against a creature deck, you're probably going to want to burn down the house, doing damage to everything, but otherwise, you're probably going to want to put out those 3/1/1 Red Devils. They put in work, they're hasty, and if their opponent kills them, then you lose life. If you have a Meat Hook on the board, they're losing 2 for every one. Then speaking of Meat Hook, we have 3 copies of Meat Hook Massacre. Next, we're going to go into our land ramp, or the cards that guarantee we keep hitting land. So we have 3 copies of Mulch, 1 green, 1 colorless for a sorcery. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So that's nice. We're filling up our graveyard with stuff to reanimate. 2 Prosperous Innkeepers, 2 Eccentric Farmer, 1 green, 2 colorless Human Peasant at 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Good for us. And then we have 2 copies of the Solstice. Once again, it's a mana ramper. It helps us with day night, which you'll see in a minute. A couple of our cards that works really well with, as well as the fact that we can go ahead and use its ability over and over again when we need to sink mana into something, and we're filling up our graveyard and cycling our deck and getting more cards. Then let's get into the cards that actually do the reanimating. We have 2 copies of Diregraph Rebirth, green, black, 3 colors for sorcery. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. So if you have a bunch of little 1/1s out there, or you're prosperous or anything, make sure you're attacking. Even if they can chump block, it'll help you use this cheaper. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and you can flash it back for 5 colors, 1 black, and 1 green. Then we have 3 copies of the new Dollhouse of Horrors, super fun card. 5 colors for an artifact. You can pay 1 and tap it, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a token that is a copy of the exiled card, except it is a 0/0 construct in addition to its other types, and this creature gets +1/+1 for each construct you control. It gains haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. And then we have Olivia Crimson Bride, 1 red, 1 black, 4 colors, legendary creature, vampire noble at 3/4, flying in haste. When Olivia Crimson Bride attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains when you don't control a legendary vampire. Exile this creature. She is amazing in this deck. And then what are our value creatures that we're using to reanimate? We have 2 Arjani, Maid of Dishonor, 1 red, 1 black, 2 colors for legendary creature vampire at 4/5. Whenever Anjay, Maid of Dishonor, and or 1 or more other vampires enter the battlefield under your control, create a blood token. This ability triggers only once each turn. You can pay 2 and sacrifice another creature or blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. You're going to win games off of that, I promise you. It's an amazing ability. We have 1 copy of Morag, Fury of Okoum. This is the one where when you play a land, you get an additional attack phase every turn. We have 2 copies of Avabruck Caretaker. She is amazing. 2 green, 4 colors for a creature human werewolf at 4/4 with hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. And then when she flips to the other side on Nightbound, she's hexproof. All of your other permanents have hexproof. In the beginning of combat on your turn, you put 2 +1/1 counters on each creature you control. We have 1 copy of Tolvar's Huntmaster, and we have 2 copies of Old Gnawbone. And then in our land, we have 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Den of the Bugbear, and Lair of Hydra, all as either mana sinks or to get around board wipes. We have 3 mountains, 3 forests. We have 1 pathway on red-black. We have 2 slow lands on black-red, 4 pathways on green-black, 2 slow lands on green-black, 4 pathways on green-red, and 2 slow lands on red-green. So, pretty much straightforward. We're trying to get our graveyard filled up while pressuring our opponent, removing any threats that they have, getting our creatures back out on the battlefield, and closing out the game. I think you're going to enjoy the gameplay. Don't forget to stick around till the end for the summary, and without further ado, let's go ahead now and get into it. What do you got? Sistapia. Hello. Okay, they go first. We have 2 lands. We have a pathway on green-red, and we have a slow land on green-red. We have Olivia, Cathartic Pyre, Prosperous Innkeeper, Solstice, and Old Gnawbone. Let's keep it, since we have turn 1, we'll go with the Veil. Turn 2, the pathway into, probably on green, since we have double green pips, into Innkeeper. We could also rock the Cathartic Pyre. Okay, looks like the opponent is going down to 6 cards, and they are on probably Izzet, if I had to guess, based on Spikefield Hazard. We draw another pathway on green-red, so that's good. We're still going to lead with the Veil. There's no point in not doing that, since we have no turn 1 play. Okay, it's either an odd Izzet land, like draw hand, or it's mono red. Let's go ahead, put this out on green, like we said. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And then let's go ahead and get that Innkeeper out there. They've used both their Spikefield Hazards, or yeah, 2 of these. So if they can poke this, they're gonna have to do something different. There's the Izzet. So they have a turn 3 play, or they wouldn't be showing that. Expressive Iteration. That's interesting. They have to be able to. They must have a spell they can. They need something they can play, or that's a wasted. Yeah, they just lose that. That was odd. Let's go ahead and throw the mountain we just got out, and let's get the Solstice. And then swing in for a big old 1. And that's an instant, so we're just going to end the turn. Fourth land from the opponent, they'll pass the turn. Let's draw 2, then discard 2. No. No. They're gonna have counter magic. That's the thing. So we're gonna lose our Olivia immediately. But we're a Re-animator deck, so let's just take the turn. Let's take that action, and we'll discard the old Gnawbone. Get that back later with her. Oh, hey, there we go. Let's go ahead and throw out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to throw out this on green. And then we're going to go ahead and throw the Olivia, because if they counter it, that's fine. And then we have the Rebirth, which only costs 5. She costs 6. So let's go ahead and auto-pay. See if we can't get this all Gnawbone on the battlefield. I'm sure we're going to get... Wow. Wow. That really just happened? What? Okay. Is this happening? Ooh! Ooh! Okay. Okay. Oh, no. Yeah. Get in. We got Greylock. Hello. Here we go first. We have 3 lands. We have a Haunted Ridge, a Pathway on green, red ×2, Infernal Grass, Meat Hook, Burn Down the House, and an Eccentric Farmer. We're going to hold on to it. We're going to lead with the Pathway, or sorry, with the Haunted Ridge. Now we'll put one of these on green next turn, and we'll have all of our colors. Oh, perfect. So we'll throw out that on green, into the Prosperous Innkeeper. See what our opponent's up to. Looks like they're going to be a control deck. Usually when you see black and blue together, you know that that's kind of what's happening. Oh, discard deck, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of... I don't know. I don't think I need the Meat Hook. I think they're going to have a lot of non-creature creatures. Let's go ahead and put this out on red, so we have a natural red out. Let's go ahead and swing in for 1, see if our opponent does anything. So they take the block. Cool. So we'll go into the Eccentric Farmer. Wow, we whiffed. Wow. Poison the cup. Straight up. So we get a land. Let's go ahead and throw that land. And I'm going to burn down the house right now and start getting some stuff going for us. Swinging for 3. Now, if they have a meat hook, they net 0, and they've burned their meat hook already. It's what it is. Elderfang Discipline, huh? So we'll get rid of the Infernal Grasp. Doesn't seem as needed at the moment. There's our meat hook. Let's go ahead and mulch. Throw out the Haunted Ridge line and swing in with these 3. So they block 1. Do the damage to them. Down to 14. End the turn. Nice. So we'll throw this out on black. Oh, this is... They'll probably have removal or a counter spell. Uh-huh. Yep. Swinging for 2. Pass it back. Such boring magics. Get their lands. We'll throw the other land. Maybe I should have held on to it in case they try to discard. Dragon's Turtle, huh? So we'll swing in for 1. End the turn. Okay. So let's go ahead and meat hook for 5. Do damage to our opponent. There we go. They're down to 7. Westgate Regent. Okay. Let's meat hook for 4. Can't. That thing just gets too big, too fast. We have to do that. It would have been 8 next turn. Hopefully they're out of threats. Okay, they get to draw cards because we didn't have anything. Come on, rip an Olivia off the top. Something big. Acquisitions expert just to get it out there. Come on, big money, big money, big money, big money. Nope. Next, and the turn. We're playing the lottery now. Playing the lottery. They got their counterspell magic back up. They can't counterspell that. End the turn. They can't kill it. They can kill the heck out of it. They have plenty of removal. Another land. We take 1. What is going on here? I guarantee you this dies the second it comes out. Dead. That's fine. The less they lose a life, and the more things that we lose, or the more things they kill, the less things they have to kill are good stuff here in a second. I think they might be out of counter spells. We'll see. Oh no! What do you do? Den of the Bugbear coming out. End the turn. Nothing good. Okay. So we are on a tight clock. Land. I don't know what this last card is. If it's a counter spell, that's kind of a pity. If it's a removal, that's good for them. My turn. Cathartic Pyre. So we're gonna Pyre and discard. We're only gonna be able to discard 1 card. The Solstice, huh? So we'll throw it. And then this is where our Den of the Bugbear gets murdered. No? No way. We actually... Boom! Down to 2. Okay. Woo! Don't they just lose with the Den of the Bugbear? Unless they don't have removal. And if they block it, they lose it from the Meat Hook Massacre. We'll decline that because we have nothing to discard. Oh, okay. Can they discard? Let's see if they can counter that. Okay, let's Dollhouse. Exiling, Old Gnawbone? No, Maid of Dishonor. Boom. As soon as they target it, they die. Let's just go ahead and do this ability and just win the game, maybe? If not, I'll do it again. I'll sacrifice this. Ah! Got him. Woo! Okay, Brew Crew, that is going to do it for JUND Re-animator. And this is definitely one of those decks that when it goes off, it makes me giggle. It is an absolute blast to play. I think it's like tier 2.5, maybe tier 2, maybe even lower. I don't know, but it is fun to play. Complete those daily quests, play against your opponents. If you're trying to climb heavily on the ladder, maybe it doesn't do the job. I don't know, but that's not always why you want to be playing the game, right? I'm not going to be making any changes at the moment because it's running really well for me. And this deck just has so much going on in it. I don't know exactly what I would want to modify. We could think about maybe taking out one old Gnawbone and adding something else, but I think it would need to be another creature that you'd want to reanimate. I definitely don't want to take out the Maid of Dishonor. This card closes out games when your opponent tries to like flood the board with creatures or something. It's really, really neat. I love having this out, any other creatures, and a Meat Hook. You start sacrificing your own creatures, they're just taking tons of damage. I like it how it is. Let's go over crafting real quick. Let's see. Burn Down the House has been a great craft for me. I haven't put it in a lot of decks lately, but every time I've ever played it, I like it, and it is a decent board wipe. So if you have the wild cards, I think it's safe to craft 2 of them. Meat Hook Massacre is an absolute beast. Make sure you have a playset of 4 of those. The Solstice, or Celestis, as I know people want me to say. I guess I like saying it's just quicker. The Celestis. Anyways, I've been putting this in a few decks. I think those are safe to craft. Dollhouse of Horrors. This card is bonkers, but I don't know if you should be using your wild cards on it. If you love a Reanimator deck in the current standard, you're definitely going to want to craft these. Otherwise, maybe not. Olivia Crimson Bride, once again, kind of goes in specific decks, and 3 of them at Mythic, Wild, Rare, at Mythics. Be careful on that one. If you only need to craft 1, maybe do it, once again, if you love this kind of deck. But if you're just trying this deck out, just try it out, and you're like me and you don't have, I have 0 Mythic Rares left, maybe you don't go and do that. Arjani, again, at the moment, I don't think it's going in too many decks. If you play Vampire decks, or you love, once again, Reanimator decks, go ahead and get it. I wouldn't craft Morag, Fury of Achaeum, or however you say that. I would find a different creature to put in its place if you don't have one. But if you are heavy on wild cards, go ahead and craft 1. It's only 1. She is really amazing, the Caretaker, but I don't know how many decks she's going to be going in. I've seen her in a few, so this one, buyer beware. It's up to you if you have the wild cards. I don't think she's bad, but I don't know how good she is. One Tovolar's Huntmaster is fine to craft. It's amazing. And one, again, I don't know if you should be spending your wild cards on old Gnawbone, but if you have them, it's fun to try out. And then if you are a subscriber, you already know what I'm going to say, but if not, land is always safe to craft. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please remember to subscribe. It's fast, it's free, and it really helps support me and the channel. It means a lot to us over here. Don't forget to rate the video as well as comment so that we get all those algorithm points. Hit that notification bell so that you know when we have new content come out. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.